Hey everybody, how's it going? New York Prepper here, getting back on after a while. Hope everybody had great holidays and New Year's, and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah and all that fun stuff. It is January 11th, 2020, and it's 60 degrees outside. So although I do not feel like very good at all, I definitely have a cold, what feels like almost like a flu. But I cannot stay inside in this weather. I have to get outside and at least check things out, go in my garage, and that becomes a catch-all in the winter, and maybe clean that up a little bit. So I figured I'd get on and show you guys a couple things. One thing I noticed when I came outside is I have my marigold plant that we grew last year. The reason why we grew it was because I was hoping to get them to come up and then kind of pull them out of this pot and plant them around in my garden, because apparently they keep the nasty bugs away. But they grew way too slow, so I already had my garden before these were coming up pretty much. So we're gonna try again next year. But the cool thing is that I noticed this, you just think it's all dead. I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but I didn't. So right there is all the seeds. So get that open up a little more there. So, yep, so that's all marigold seeds. So I have a ton of marigold seeds on here. A lot more than what I planted. Definitely a lot more than what I planted. So that's definitely nice that I don't have to buy more seeds. So I'll just put them, now it's being sloppy because the wind's blowing, put them in my little marigold bottle, and I'll have those for spring. So that's pretty nice. So one of the other things I wanted to point out suggest is to save bolts and nails, screws, all of that stuff, because when shit hits the fan, you're not going to be able to go to your hardware store or Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever to get your stuff. So my wife gave me this container quite a number of years ago, and that's pretty much what I've used it ever since. So it's got the top, so you got a bunch of little slots there. So you got all nuts and some smaller bolts and stuff, and it's got a different level here. So just a bunch of different hardware to save. More hardwares. There's another layer. So you got multiple layers. So it's kind of a cool bucket. But yeah, save these. Save your bolts, nuts, screws. You're going to throw something out that has a bunch of bolts in it. Unscrew them, take them out, store them away. There's so many times that I've needed a bolt, and I didn't have to go to the store and buy one. That's for sure. Nails. I have several buckets of, variety nails. Which is kind of annoying actually, because every time I need a certain kind, I have to dump a bucket out and pick out, the 10 or 12 that I need. So it's not very good as far as storing away, but hey, I got other things to do besides sorting nails. Something else you guys might want to think about having. They say everybody in the country has one, so I have to have one. Bolt cutters. So, I've used them for local things, around here as far as the house, and for chains and some bolts and stuff. But, if you ever have to get into a situation where, you want to get into a building, need to get into a building, don't just go, busting into people's stuff, unless it's, that point in the, shit hits the fan atmosphere that they're not coming back, but you're gonna want to have a way to get into padlocks and people bolting their place down. So, and then of course buckets. Always get some buckets. If you're going to the store and you're not gonna pick up a bag of rice or some other kind of prep, just grab a bucket. It's funny because I usually get the food grade buckets and food grade lids, but of course my marigolds just dumped all over. But if you're putting them in Mylar bags, I don't really personally see the reason to have to spend the extra dollar or two for food grade buckets, because I'm not putting my food directly in it. I guess you could, you know, if you're going to put rice in there and some oxygen absorbers and seal it down, you know, get a gamma lid, then yeah, you'd want a food grade bucket because you're not putting anything in between it. But if you got a 5-gallon Mylar bag and put that in there, then do you really need the bucket? I guess it's cost effective. Which one's more cost effective too? So something to think about. And lastly, I'll show you a couple gifts that I got. One of my sons bought me a Dutch oven, so that's pretty cool. And one of my sons is a scout, so he will they already use that on a constant basis at camp. Their scout troop goes to camp pretty much every month, all year long. So he knows some different cool things to make with it. I mean, obviously, you know, it's easy baking, you know, making stew or pastas or, you know, things like that. But, you know, you can bake bread in it, make cakes in it, and, you know, do all sorts of things that might take a little extra training and knowledge on how to do. So another thing that I thought was really cool is my wife got me these hand warmers, but they're reusable. So I have the regular hand warmers, you know, that are just one-time use, and those are pretty great and they're cheap, you know. We stash them, and I have a bunch around, and my son uses them a lot for camping. But these are really cool, I think, because they're reusable, so it's a good SHTF situation. I mean, I'm sure they're not going to last forever, and all you have to do to reset them is immerse the packs in boiling water for approximately 5 to 10 minutes until all crystals within the pack have disappeared and are liquefied. So, you know, 5 to 10 minutes in boiling water. Well, if you don't know how to boil water and you don't have the ability to boil water, you need to go back to that 101 lesson first before you worry about anything else. But yeah, boil these up and be able to reuse them. That's a great item, I think. I also got the Prepper's Canning Guide. I mean, it's a cool. I looked through it. It's got some pretty cool stuff, but it's you know, as far as canning goes, there's a lot of good canning books out there. But this just shows you, you know, a wide variety, you know, from stews to soups to sloppy joes to, you know, main meats and stuff like that. But of course, if you do get into the meats, then you got to do pressure canning, which I don't have one of those yet. And then she got me a box for seeds. This is the box haul. This is actually, I think it's for what I looked up. I think it's for resistors, for electronics. But this would be cool to, you know, store a wide variety of seeds in that I'm just going to pack away, you know, and not have out to use every year. You know, this would be a good thing to put in a bucket and stash. So I thought it was pretty cool. And it came with little labels, so you can label each one. Obviously, you'd have to probably put a number on these and then put a piece of paper in there with what each number was. You're not really gonna, unless you got really small handwriting. So that's about it. I know I haven't been on in a while. You know, like I said, the holidays are crazy, and you know, I definitely appreciate all my subscribers. I'm up to, last I checked, I got 110 subscribers now. As I've said in many videos in the past, I'm not doing this for subscribers. I'm doing it, you know, to help educate subscribers and just to, you know, build relationships on the YouTube world. But I'm doing this for, you know, myself, as more of a journal, and for my kids. And you know, you think about these things, and who knows how long YouTube will be there. But you know, you look back and people, you know, video recording their families, that doesn't happen that much anymore. But, you know, so looking back on old memories, I think it'd be pretty cool, you know, when I'm 70 years old, or I'm passed away, my kids are in their, you know, 40s, and they can get on YouTube and see Dad making a fool out of himself and trying to prep and preparing for what never came, or who knows. So, but it'll all still be there for them. What I don't eat when I get older and living on Social Security, who knows. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great one. See you.